Так, а у меня как-то настройки стояли, по-моему, по-другому. Ладно, сейчас начну посмотрю. Последнее предупреждение. И еще одно предупреждение надо говорить. И еще одно, и еще одно. Да, 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 да. А, это я могу типа пригласить кого-то поиграть со мной? Прикольно. Этого раньше не было.
Famed, of course, for my unique red skin and unparalleled skills as a general of the House of War, I, the Red Prince, was raised within the vast palaces of the fabled Forbidden City. I was destined to become the next emperor. But my ambitions suffered a bit of a setback when I fell from grace for cavorting with demons. Now, I'm exiled and hunted by assassins. But I assure you, I remain undaunted and as determined as ever to claim my rightful throne.
Все, прям страшно стало. Классно.
I used to be a slave, kept under the thumb of the master, the bastard that made me hunt down my own kin. How did he do that, you ask? With the living scar you see on my cheek, this horror that takes no more than a song sung by Master Dearest to control my very thoughts. But now the tables have turned. I broke my shackles, and when I finally find him, I will make the master sing a very different kind of song.
Once I was a crusader for the Divine Order. I pledged my life to Lucian the Divine. The war changed everything. He sent me to save the elves I grew up amongst. I arrived too late. Lucian ordered the use of death fog against the Black Ring, annihilating everyone I once knew in the process. Now I'm a mercenary killer, one of the infamous Lone Wolves. And my next target is none other than Lucian's own son.
Oh. I was just thinking about someone I used to know. My cousin, the Queen, in fact. A tyrant. I tried to stop her, but things don't always go according to plan. She cast me out to a forgotten island, and made short work of my allies too. Lucky for me, I was able to commandeer a ship and began a new life for myself out on the high seas. Aye, but I hear that the Queen is at it again, and there's something darker behind her madcap schemes this time. If I don't stop her, I don't know who will.
Меня хочет остановить. О, самое классное.
All my life, I've been a performer, a musician, beloved and celebrated by all. But I have a secret. I'm also a playground for sprites and spirits and... worse. The voice that rings inside me now is darker than any that came before. Almost caused a bunch of my fans to rip each other to pieces. But you can trust me. I've got this under control. Step 1. Find out who, or what, is trying to take control of my mind. Step 2. Make it sorry it ever tried.
Oh, don't stare. How would you look after eons in some ghastly crypt? Your people are rather prone to death. Mine are not. Yet when I emerged from my completely unjustified imprisonment, I found them gone. Our culture forgotten. Any trace of the world I knew all but obliterated. I must even hide my true face beneath an ever-shifting mask for fear you savages will attack me. That is how I wander this strange world. Trying to uncover the truth about a history you primitive people never even knew existed.
Такой голос молодой, фейна, прям вообще. Знаете, уже обычно. Так, ну я возьму Сибиллу. Опять жилистая слишком. Ну пофиг. Такс. Да-да, так. Это изучим будет у нас другой персонаж. Так. Здесь пирокинетчика и мастерство хода. Ну ладно, пускай так будет. Пирокинетик, что с ним. Ага, собиратель стрел, смешно, да. Нет, не надо. Наверное, сразу возьму. Сюда на пушку пораньше. Да, к сожалению, не совмещают. Так. Я могу? Здесь нельзя, да, поменять? Понятно. Ученый преступник. Это... Ну да, думаю, да. Так, ну тут, надеюсь, ничего не поменяли. Ну, посмотрим.
It all happened like I knew it would. A single drop of source magic. And, like flies to honey, the monsters swarmed. The rebel panicked. The carnage began. And the magisters pointed their fingers at me. Just as I'd planned. I was shackled and collared, and sent to Fort Joy. I'd come here to kill Godwoken. But instead I became part of their story.
Виндиго прибыла, чтобы убить пробужденных? Форт Джой. Ничего себе. Так, что-то переработали.
Still a bit groggy, are we? Don't worry. The sedative will wear off soon enough.
Успокоительное скоро отпустит.
Easy now. No need to hurry. Get your bearings and report to me upstairs.
Чего? Ну, мы у них в прошлый раз как-то не так все происходит. Так, а здесь...
What a dismal way to wake. In the belly of the beast. Let's see if I can grope my way out.
Так. Да, управление у меня было другое. Так. Почему правая там? Левая хочу. Что там на Е? О, блин. Где она? Где эта кнопочка? Так, ну гейммастер мне точно не нужно подать. Так, качаем. Качаем. В смысле снаряжение? Просто неудобно вращать камеру среднюю. Ну, что за средний кнопку? Так.
Still, not the worst bed I've ever slept in. Still, not the worst bed I've ever. Still, not the worst bed I've ever slept in.
Там было как вот контекстное меню еще. Что за контекстное меню? А, вот контекстное меню. Сюда тоже ей добавить. А как она была на двух кнопочках, что ли, назначена? Ничего не понял, взаимодействие. Молчание. Взаимодействие. Левая кнопочка. А, левую мне вообще не надо. Зачем мне левую? Отменить действие, контекстное меню. О, она стоит на двух. Текстное меню и отменить действие. Отменить действие escape. Да, все, короче. Так, что ж тут намудрил? Все правильно, да? Вращение камеры вправо, выше. Где контекстное меню? Еще есть контекстное меню. И действие escape осталось. Все, вроде все правильно. Можно сюда еще Е добавить. Ну ладно. Все нормально, короче. Так, как там свеча?
Bones are so boring. Without flesh, there's no memories to be had.
Да, и что? В смысле, что он не ходит? Алло. Блин. Хорошо, вообще. Так. Все нормально. Да отстаньте от меня. Что, у меня лук есть, что ли? А, можно по лестнице? Да чё? Идите-ка. Нет, правда, это учебная палуба. Что сюда можно?
An animal pen. How utterly charming. А что, я не смогу потом собираться? Чем напал? Чего? Страницу хроник? Смогу? Ну, отлично.
Everything's spick and span. Nothing left to do, really.
В смысле переданный клуб? Что? Я не помню такого. Перегонный клуб. Этого раньше не было на корабле. Перегонного клуба. Сейчас добавим.
In fact, he seemed quite averse to spending time with the others. Why, you're looking a bit more chipper. Yes. Looks like that collar fits you snugly enough. Nice bit of work, even if I do say so myself. There you are. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog has to get used to its leash. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered in the ship's manifest, and he's the chap in charge of the logs. You'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters. Why? Because we're at sea, of course, and have been for—
Index fingers pressed to her lips. She pauses a moment to—
My word, you do seem a bit befuddled, don't you? Perhaps I was a bit too generous. Oh, well, I'm sure you'll soon gather your wits. Most likely. Eventually. In the meantime, a new life awaits. And if you're a particularly good girl, perhaps a cure as well. An end to Sauce. For good. Why, for my peace of mind, of course. Why don't you try casting one of those Sauce spells of yours? See what happens.
Currents of magic surge inside you, boiling, bursting, then breaking, only to fade back into your soul.
My, look at the concentration on your face. There you have it. See? The collar's function. It... for your own peace of mind, of course.
Good gods. There's been a murder here.
Who?
A young magister stands pale and silent. Her knuckles whiten around her weapon as you pass. Behind the magister, a bloodied mass lies in a heap. Gore and limbs lie at odd angles. You can't make out of—
There's been a murder. A sorcerer was killed by one of your own. Lucky you were busy getting your collar. Waters is investigating. She'll figure— Aren't you enterprising? I'll go ahead. She with the body.
Ugly sight, isn't it? Burns me up this happened under our protection. We're extremely lucky no Voidwalker followed the source that did this.
She looks up at you.
I was on you're one of the only indisputably innocent people on the ship. Finn was killed by Source. If a Magister could do that, it looks more like a passenger managed to slip their collar. Listen, I could use someone to keep their ears open and bring me a good lead, and I'll throw in a shiny gold coin for you. How about that? Thanks. No marks, no indications of a struggle.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one. Can we just skip to the part?
There you are, wife. Would you please tell this very charming gaggle of not at all brat-like babes that I am by no accounts this loser woman, nor do I sing, in fact. I'm deathly allergical.
А, лось у нас.
How very correct you are, spouse of mine. Madame Josephine Gribbles de Peeb refuses to be What? What's so
Her pinched face cracks into a great grin, and she shoos the children.
Yeah, okay, you found me out. Go on and get, and maybe I'll sing you something when I'm good at...
She turns to you, dark-eyed and dirty-haired, and smiles.
Gotta keep ourselves entertained, haven't we? You presume right. Nope, trying not to find anything out either. Ignorance is bliss. The utterer, the better. Thanks, but I already belong to an elite and exclusive ship gang. We play ball every day after lunch. You take care, though.
Suddenly, her eyes cloud to an unnatural black. Grey as quickly as they came. The cloud.
Good luck, Chief. No.
Немножко поменяли.
What's your name?
No.
Gods, didn't your mother teach you any manners?
She got eaten by a void woken.
The elf is reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He looks up, his big round eye. He reaches out and examines your face, tugging at your ears and prodding. He sits back and returns to his book, flicking quickly from page to page, completely oblivious to your presence.
I am not as brittle as all that, young lady. Oh dear. I seem to have crossed some cultural taboo. You have my apologies. Perhaps I should demand the same from those red-cloaked humans. They laid their hands on me more than once.
Maybe that has the Magisters more concerned than your appetite.
Ah, yes. The niceties. My name is Fane. I am a scholar from... Well, it is pleasurable to meet you. Is there? Well, certainly not in your books. I have been reading this one for several minutes, and I have yet to find... It is simultaneously too detailed and insufficient. I know the begin... Tell me, what do you know of our world's history? Most unusual. And if it's not too rude to suggest... No. I want to know about the Celestial. This text tells me that they created all creatures. Where did these gods come from? Who are their people? Where are the others of their kind? Of course you don't have any useful info. Now please, run along. I have a world to decipher.
No amount of pestering will get the elf to...
Insufferable, surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
A broad dwarf sits totally upright on the bench, eyes closed, palms face up on his knees. His beard is a cascade of meticulous plaits. He raises an eyebrow as you approach, but doesn't open his eyes.
Listen up, Ghetto. You hear that?
He turns his head toward you, looking you up and down, and smiles before...
You look like a Ghetto to me. Listen, if you're interested. Or get gone if you are. The ship, of course.
A wave of sound washes...
And? Sick as a leper's cat. But there's more. Listen close. There now, just like that.
Squeeze!
Aha!
His eyes snap open as his countenance breaks into an expression of joy. One great paw claps you on the back.
There! You heard it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew it. Aye, this is good news, Ghetto. Good. No, you beautiful idiot. That wasn't any rat. It was the wheel. Squeaks whenever the helmsman jerks. Pardon my beard. That means if we've been travelling for... Yes, only 10.34... Ah, so you've eyes as well as ears, eh? You'll go far, mate. Even here.
Your kind always hung close.
Yeah, no indeed, Ghetto. But that ain't my
The dwarf leans back from the table and strokes his beard, gold medallions jingling merrily.
That'll be all, thank ye kindly, Ghetto.
He continues stroking his beard, a beatific smile on...
How dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I was given.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom.
Well, there has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magisters more concerned than your appetite.
Don't you get saucy with me when you...
I spent my life singing for my slaves to bring me my supper. Meanwhile, the...
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to
Well,
concentrate.
well. What have we here? A fresh face in this...
The lizard looks you up and down, like a farmer would of fetching. All of a sudden, he grips you firmly by the chin, with the intent of inspecting your teeth.
My, we are fierce, aren't we? Not to worry. Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is this. Can you cook?
What are you trying to hear anyway? I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
Ah, music to my beleaguered... On to the second question. Can you knit, weave? In short, tailor? Yes, well, I'll count that as a no. On then to my final query. Have you the ability to administer the upkeep of one's personal appearance? The very basics, then. I suppose that's a start. So, 3 questions asked, 3 questions answered. As per your own testimony, you can cook and groom, but you have the fashion sense of a monkey in a... Still, beggars can't be choosers. So without further ado, I offer you my sincerest congratulations. As of now, you are my slave.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
Of course you accept. Mine wasn't an offer. Anyway, you may leave me for a moment. We'll go over your duties once we reach full...
Skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up. You think me mad? Mad?
Oh, lucky find.
A scruffy man lounges against the wall with scarred arms folded. A sly smile playing on his face, he stares across at the Magister guarding.
Watch your back, new fish. There's a murderer on board, and I'd bet 3 months' pay it's this trampy thing.
Rolling his eyes at the Magister's warning, the man named Ifan beckons again.
I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else I can make.
He leans in and adjusts your collar with a sharp tug, balancing its weight so it no longer presses on
Pinches less that way, right?
Hocking a phlegmy gobbet in your general direction, the sullen Magister settles back to his task of glowering at Ifan. And now...
We used to know each other, more's the pity. I was his commander many, many, many moons ago.
Standing far back from Ifan, the tight-faced Magister... Ifan grins, flashing pointed white...
Same as he was at 14 years old. Only difference is somebody gave him a bigger sword and now he's Johnny Big Pants. Long story. Maybe I'll tell you about it in the joy. Away from interested parties. No. The dead man, Finn, is it? I'd no business with him. And I wouldn't put him...
He glances over at Magister Victor, who's staring back at him with pointed intensity.
Damn shame sheer annoyance isn't reason enough.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
The joy, I've heard a lot. Nothing good. No surprise there, since Bishop Alexander runs the show. Wonder if we'll get to meet the ringmaster himself. Easy now. I might think the same, but Vic here will blow a blood vessel if he hears you talking like...
What are you conspiring about over there?
Oh, don't mind him. Vic's just got a bee in his bonnet. And that bee is me.
Name!
Magister Victor looks at you suspiciously, then scrawls something illegible down in a tiny notebook. He scowls at you as he stows the notebook back in his...
Away with you!
Ifan performs an elaborate pantomime of keeping quiet, one finger in front of his lips as he leans back against the wall.
You put a knuckle in it. I'm trying to concentrate.
Murder most foul, and I strongly suspect you know all about it.
Do you? Well, perhaps you're absolutely right.
Так, сейчас Виндега устроит здесь представление.
Insufferable, surely. What are you trying to hear anyway? I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
So, anything interesting for me? Right.
А, я могу здесь подняться.
The hatch is blocked. I'll need to find another way.
Не могу.
Why won't you sing?
I forgot how to sing. I did.
It was one of them. I know it.
Here's the register, man. Good, good. Magister Williams has just you faring okay so far.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them. I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
He tugs the collar of his uniform.
Sorry you're upset, ma'am, but we all... You head on in now. Williams will get you...
Так, сейчас начнется, да?
Mad? Insufferable, surely. What are you trying to hear anyway? I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen. Keep those bubbles trained on her, and if she tries to run, shoot to kill.
You seem on edge, officer. What on earth is the matter?
Murder most foul, and I strongly suspect you know all about it.
Do you? Do you? Well, perhaps you're absolutely right.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
Ну все, она так что призналась. Я смогу?
The top door's barricaded. No way through for now.
Никак нельзя.
You've got this wolf on a leash now.
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their crossbow trained upon her as she's being interrogated.
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor fella?
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the big...
She turns her head and looks you straight...
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God! The woman's you there! Sorcerer! Go and fetch Magister Siwan! We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
Как она ошейник обошла, а, Виндега?
By all means, do as the officer says. But you had better hurry, because...
She reaches for her collar and simply removes it.
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts source, the Voidwoken will come. They'll end us all.
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precisely.
What's happened?
What's happened? What's happened? Как видишь. Так, а трубы, по-моему, надо опускать, да? Исчезли. Трубы исчезли. Так.
The young woman lies in a heap on the floor. She's breathing normally, but her eyes are wide open. like those of a corpse. Dark, greyish-black clouds swirl through them.
No.
Нет.
Oh! What happened? Must have been water. Why, for goodness sake?
The lizard's eyes close. The dwarf lies in a heap on the floor, his great beard twisted and tangled around him. He is stock. You hear a faint thud, thud, thud. Ifan lies motionless, curled up. His eyes flicker open.
Lucian.
Ifan cries out.
Даже в бреду лицо напоминает. Сейчас. Ой, овечку убили. Овечку ни за что.
The Magister lies on the floor, unconscious and bleeding.
Помочь?
The Magister lies on the floor.
The hatch is blocked. I'll need to find another way.
Оружие? Вообще да, надо поискать. Шел. Текст. Я по 5-6 буду очень долго.
God damn it! I need to get off this wreck, and quick.
Not long before the great gods. Something's pounding on the hull.
Мой первый лук. Ну, стоит, кстати, дороже.
That doesn't bode well. Onwards and upwards.
You pass through the door and are suddenly face to face with an undead. His skull is bizarrely angular, and the skeleton is quickly leafing through a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia.
No! What damn fools record knowledge on a pulped tree? It catches fire, it turns into must when wet, it cannot even resist acid!
The skeleton looks up and...
Oh, it's you. Shouldn't you be running and screaming or some such?
The skeleton groans and looks back to his book, frantically...
I know your god did not gift you with much, but kindly used... Do you look at me and think, why yes, there is someone with organs enough to drown? Trifling matters like water and poison do not concern me. No, damp robes are the most I have to fear. Once this glorified skiff hits the sea floor, I will simply... Whereas you, I believe, have lifeboats to pointlessly squabble over. I believe you did. Although I was wearing the... I had a mask, rather ingeniously designed, which allowed me... A mask that was stolen by that damned witch. Still, she'll drown with the rest of these fools, and I will simply pluck my mask from her cold, dead hands. Indeed, just as sensible as getting off a sinking ship and leaving a... I would say good day, but it seems quite likely that you're about to...
The skeleton shrugs casually and returns to his...
Скорее себя, все у тебя ждет. Ужасно.
The marking on the door was painted recently, judging from its pungent scent. You recognize the symbol immediately for what it is. You press your palm against the door to open it. The wood feels neither cold, it doesn't budge. The door groans open.
Something's breaking through. What the hell are those things?
Так, ну что?
By the gods, get off the ship.
Да, господи, хватит уже. Чё? Текст. Ну да, у нас как раз все дела. Снег нельзя. Ладно. Я долго буду его убивать. Дать бы. Да, была, потом исчезла.
Shut your trap, kid! Children and dwarfs first, just like the old stories say.
The dwarf yanks at one of the nearby ropes.
You said there were other people down there.
You see those tentacles, kid? It's time for getting the hell out of here.
Thank you! There's a ladder right over there. You can go straight...
You're gonna be the death of us, you hear?
Да я, наверное, так же как пришел.
If you can walk, get yourself up the ladder. There's a wait.
Ну, другое дело. Там лошади не убьют. Она сама кого-то шубит.
Telling where there might be more. We need to move.
They smell even worse dead than alive. Let's head above decks for some.
She tries to speak, but can only gape as she clutches her neck. With jagged movements, she raises her clenched fist and holds out. Blood quickly soaks through the cloth. Magister Siwan's mouth opens and closes, her eyes wide in terror. Blood pours out from around the bandage. Magister Siwan reaches out to you, her hand flailing. It's working. The pressure is stemming the flow of blood. Siwan clutches your arm. Something within the ship snaps. The floorboards shudder. Siwan struggles to her feet, clinging to you tightly. The ship lets out a deep groan.
Gods. It's ripping the ship apart.
Блин, надо было там наверху еще убить собачку. Магистр.
I have plans for you, child. Rise.
Honorable Dallas, we lost a ship sailing sorcerer prisoners to Fort Joy. We assume some escaped and broke their collars. Their vile magic lured the Voidwoken. All who were aboard are presumed dead. Yours faithfully into eternity, High Judge Oriven.
I've danced with death before, but that was a particularly intimate waltz. I suppose I'm the lone survivor. How jolly. Boring.
The child has a small mirror in his hands. He holds it up at angles, inspecting his eyes, his chin, the crown of his head. He spots you, and his arms snap to his sides.
I'm not supposed to talk to elves. Pa told me elves and lizards and dwarves bring bad guys. Void guys. That's right, isn't it? I guess I'm a sorcerer too. That's why I'm here, right?
The child screws up his face and looks at you hard. He lifts...
I don't see any sauce on you or me. I guess they're wrong. Or crazy. Maybe you're right. At least they don't mind where anyone goes. They know we can't leave the island, and it's a lot nicer out here than inside. They're gone now. But you didn't die. I guess I am, but it's just normal to be scared. Nowhere isn't scary. There isn't anywhere safer. You'll see.
Левый shift нажать.
Voidwoken. Those are the same beasts that sank our ship. Damn, they made it to shore.
Так, как там? Рюкзачок-то делать. Угу. Вот, пример 2. О, это белка! Прикольно. Белка на кошке? Что? А что, она будет за мной теперь?
Rubbish.
Так, а где у нас в настройках автоповышение персонажа тут где-то есть? Так, а где? Нет, такого что ли? По-моему, где-то было раньше такая опция. Ладно.
You spot a strange lizard gazing over the water with a steady, malcontent stare. Yes, you recognize him from the ship. It would seem you're not the only one who survived the tentacles of the deep. The lizard turns about with the graceful ease of a dancer, or a duelist. You lock eyes with his, two smouldering...
I did survive, yes. And chances are I wouldn't have, had you not returned to the aid of your fellow passengers down in... You have my gratitude.
Hand over heart, he salutes you with a bob of the head. More than a nod, though less than a bow.
Yes, I'm sure you've all the makings of a hero and all that, but let's not get... Nevertheless, one good turn does deserve another, so... As far as the whole Now then, if there's nothing further... I'm sure I don't mean to sound condescending, but I had thought it quite...
He sighs, dramatic.
Tell me, what do you see when you cast your glance over this ocean? Memories?
He looks out over the water once more, and so do you. A few tranquil...
As for myself, when I consider this vast expanse before us, I see continents dotted with mighty cities. And shimmering along the soft curve of the sea's horizon, I picture the palaces that formed my paradise. What do you mean? What do I mean? I mean just what I say. I had a very actual empire that I lost.
Suddenly, having all the air of being deeply offended, he stares at you with utter...
Well, don't just stand there gawking like an ape at an abacus. Or do you really mean to tell me you don't know who I am? The very same. I am the Red Prince, the All-Conqueror, the World-Tamer. Of course you know me.
There's a brief moment's pause, during which his
That said, I suppose I must own up to the fact that I find myself rather in between all-conquering. The grandeur that is my fate has hit a bit of a snag. But never you worry, for the throne I was destined and my throne I shall have. Truly. A kind offer indeed. And you've already proven to be trustworthy enough. Fine, I accept. On one condition. For reasons I'll not disclose right now, it is imperative that I should meet with a dreamer. One of them I've reason to believe one of them may be present on this island. Promise me we'll look for him, and I'll extend you the blessing of my jolly good. So, now that that's settled, first things first. Even if you are as versed in the art of eloquence as I am, that our swords will be doing a lot of the talking from here on out goes without saying. As a born fighter, I prefer the perfection of the blade myself. But I'm well acquainted with the secrets of magic, and yes, even subterfuge. What say you? Wizardry is embedded in my nature as deeply as the instincts to breathe and drink and mate. The dominion over fire suits me best, truth be told, but there is no school of magic I cannot master. Very well. Onwards then to victory or death.
The Red Prince nods and gives you a smile that wavers ever so delicate.
Now, as you're aware, you'll be traveling with a prince. Proper forms of address include Your Majesty, Your Royal Highness, or, as your luck would have it, I seem to be fresh out of luggage, so you won't be required to carry my belongings. Of course, there are other forms of protocol to bear in mind, but I'll see to it you'll pick up the rest as we go.
Блин, убеждения, а у него откуда убеждения?
Beauteous creature, almost as graceful as I am.
Rubbish.
I never want to set foot on a stuffy old boat. Hey, lady. It's a lot nicer here than that stink. I'm sure glad you went back to save the others. Saw one of them wringing out their tunic at the shore a few hours ago. Say hi for me.
Any verdicts?
Pipe now, Farah. It's time to accept reality.
What of it? Магистр Арника. Юзал Арника.
Send us your children, your supplicants.
So you can fold.
No, just because the pair of you are filthy cheating liars don't mean I can't beat you.
Looky here, mates. A fresh face. We love fresh faces, don't we? Why don't you join us in a round of cards? First hands on? No problem, Freshie. In that case, enjoy your stay. But I'll be needing to collect your interment fee first, of course. I'm sure the Reds told ya. No one gets along without paying the interment fee. So, let's make this easy. Empty your pockets. Well, ain't you the playful one, gorgeous? I like...
He reaches towards you to take a card and... His purse slips easily into your palm, and you secrete it away.
Hey, hold on a darn minute there. These cards are marked. But you guessed that already, didn't ya? All right then, what am I holding? Wrong. You may be beautiful, but you've got the brains of an elf. Pay up now, or we'll have to play some other games with you. Since you're such a playful thing.
С его тяжелым кошельком в вашем кармане.
We'll see about that, Freshie.
Блин. Это как-то не по плану сейчас пошло. Черт. Блин. Какой у него уровень? Второй. Ёпарасты, а. Надо срочно сюда залазить. Ага.
I'm ready.
как-то совсем не по плану все идет. Нифига себе, с одного удара. Понятно. Это все понятно. С ним драться вообще. Куда полезла? Блин, один остался. Немножко здоровья. Так, вот. Оскорбление действует. Как ты попал в ослепление? Там где мои? Кстати, да. Блин. Может есть. Блин, плащ сейчас. Ладно. Не сдох. ударить. Да твою ж мать, а? А, он сдох, этот чувак. Так. Это капец подало. Так, 11, да? Да твою же мать, да? Убила его. Но я не смогу его убить. Может, смогу, не знаю. Если будет повести. Так. Стрела, в принципе, у меня. Алло. О, победа! Неужели? Блин, я не планировал вообще этот бой. В принципе. Пиздец какой-то полный. Так. Фу. Нормально. Пока нет решения больше. Это надо брать. А, еще с 8.
Send us your children, your supplicants, and you divine.
Так. Может, у них есть свет?
Lest the void overtake and devour us all.
После из них. Чего? Я сколько играл, у меня, по-моему, ни разу не ломался. А, нет, меч ломался какой-то.
Come on, old man. I can't wait all
Fire
day.
her. She ain't coming back.
Они не следуют, потому что они мертвые. Так.
Oh, I don't feel so good.
Я вообще не планировал с ними драться, как бы.
You gonna pray all day, buddy?
Пофиг. Без запорол.
Hey, I know you.
Losa, the dark-eyed jokester you met aboard the ship, waves enthusiastically.
Back then, I was Madame Josephine Gribbles de Pube, and you were Sibyl, right? Nothing like a nice tentacle slap across the moor to set the tone for the week, eh? How'd you escape? Me too. Did you hear something? When you were in the water, I mean. I heard the same thing. Do you know what this means? It means...
Losa's voice catches in her throat. The joy drains from her face. Her eyes lose focus, and she is stock still, waxy-skinned, her eyes dark. Greyish-black veins run from her eyes down her cheeks.
Фига себе. По-моему, раньше не было такого.
Her head snaps to you mechanically, and her eyes lock with yours. Dark pupils dilated into great black void. Light suddenly flashes back into her face. The grey veins drain to pinkish flare.
Anyway, what were we talking about? Oh, yeah. It was a shipwreck, all right. Not much more to say about it, I guess. Papa Joris used to tell me, Losa, he'd say, Losa, you ever find yourself in a sinking ship, follow the rats. They'll... Applies to a lot of situations, actually. Vermin tend to know what's what. I've given a few shows around Reaper's Coast. Might be you saw a poster or a flyer. Might be you even heard about the, incident. Well, I was giving this concert up on Overlook Hill. There was a great crowd. But I guess it was too good. I had me a little sauce flare-up. Everyone went a bit... I don't know. I snapped out of it before anyone got hurt, but the Magisters caught me backstage afterwards. Really? Are you hospitable too? Put it like this. You've never been a host, I bet. That's because you're an infested clump of leaves on the side of the road. But I'm a roadside inn. Red door, flowers out front. Like a goddamn gold star inn for the disembodied. Now, isn't that just the question of the hour? I can't be sure just yet. I'll be surprised if it's a demon. Definitely not. So, how are you enjoying the joy? So true. And you can stay as long as your heart desires. So, you want to check this place out together? Strength in numbers and all that. It does, right? Before we head out, I've got more than a few tricks up my sleeve. So you'll have to pick which one I'll pull out if... when push comes to shove. Lately I've been into the enchanting arts, but I can shoot, slash, summon, steal, whatever your little black heart desires. So, what'll it be?
Все можешь делать. Так.
Don't know if you could tell, but mysticism's sounds fine. So, we're good to go? Yeah? Well, that was easier than I thought. And I'll do my best to stay myself.
Yes. Ага. Теперь надо пойти и воскресить.
Mummy's right here. Where are you?
It's time to accept reality.
Кстати, лось тоже второго уровня теперь, а? Или первого все? Блин, второй уровень повысился. Ладно, что и дали. Игра статистику 2. Нормально. О, обмен 3. Вообще, то, что надо. То, что надо как раз. Я так хотел ее качать на обмен. Хорошо, что здесь дерьмеца не подсыпали. А все очки в обмене. Ну, тут, конечно, что у нас? Так, горячая голова какая-то. Ну, потом поменять. Так. Нафиг ей вот это все. Ну ладно. Так.
Lest the void overtake and devour us all.
Come on, old man. I can't wait all day.
Он будет воришкой. Воришкой.
Where is he?
Что себе перепуталось? После смерти, наверное. Эй, а откуда у нее магическая броня? Я не понял. Где взяла? А этот где взял? Ну этот, ладно, щиты наколдовал себе. У меня тут нету. 8, 6.
Come on then, Lexi. Pay up.
I find only... Dear one, help me teach this beast. He must respect.
Respect? Huh. Someone's got to keep this place running. Griff can't do...
An intense-looking man steps between the thug and the elf and rolls up his sleeves, revealing well-muscled and heavily scarred arms. You...
Just stand aside, won't you, mate? This...
Lone wolves decide their own business.
The thug freezes in fear for a moment before shuffling back to the protect.
Pay up, elf. No one shorts Griff, especially not one of you.
Burrow looks you both up and down, sizing up your...
Ah, get out of here. The both of you. Yeah.
The elf smiles and bows to you in...
Follow me, before more of them trouble us. There is a safe place.
Ethan rolls his sleeves back down. He nods at you.
Good work there. Good work. I can tell you've got chops.
He stretches out one rough hand to shake yours. He grips your hand tight as a vice and shakes it hard.
Say, you don't look all that busy now that we're safely on dry land. I could use someone to watch my back, and it looks like you could use someone to watch yours. I've just got a small errand to run. And then I'll be looking to get the hell out of here, while I've still got a neck to collar. How about we stick together until we get out of this place?
Как сказать-то, что давай?
He shrugs, looking off to the side.
Mercenaries. It's a job. My job. Everyone needs to make a living. I make mine.
The little black cat trailing you hisses at him, hair raising a ridge along its back. Without batting an eyelid, the man rumbles a lupine growl. The cat hides behind your leg, mewling.
Ah, I knew there was a kinship of sorts about you. Same trade, different masters it looks like. Why not help each other get out of here? The usual way. Haphazard, terrifying, and drenched in blood. Haven't quite worked out the details yet, but I'll wager 2 heads are better than 1. And when push comes to shove, 4 fists are better than 2, right?
He grins, sharp teeth glittering in the midday sun.
So, before we hit the road, it's best if we decide battle strategies up front. Should keep more of our blood in. Survival's my main priority. I'll use every trick in the book to keep us alive. But if a wayfarer's not what you're after, I've got other skills. What do you need? Dexterous arts. What are you looking for exactly? A tapestry embroiderer? Can do. On.
He scans the horizon for.
Right you are.
Так, а он должен быть везунчиком. Да, 2 везучесть. Обмен надо убрать. Чего бережно возьмем? Ладно. Блин, вот зря, конечно. Зря 2-й уровень повысил, вот этих убил. Ну, просто запоролся. Так бы я бы его присоединил. Сейчас надо ждать. 5-й уровень, что ли?
Pipe down, Farah. It's time to accept reality.
Так, ну-ка надо проверить. Он будет сохраняться? Ничего не берет, ну-ка. Попробую, главное, меня выйти. Блядь. Я чё, сохранился сейчас? Блин, короче, придется переигрывать. Потому что я сохранился это раз и... Ну что, могу сохраняться, что ли? В смысле? Один раз же можно сохраняться. Или нет? Или что-то поменяли правила, что ли? А, ну типа я могу сохраниться, выйти, да, зайти под... Спокойно вообще. Тут все нормально будет. Не, ну хорошо. Ну да, меняются, сохранения меняются. Это нормально, это сделали хорошо. Потому что раньше не очень хорошо было. Выйти из игры, сохраниться, выйти из игры. Да? Ладно, пока закончу на сегодня. Пять уровней смогу здесь поднять или нет? Должен, по идее, должен поднять. Все. Чтобы стеклянную пушку взять не могу. Блин, плохо, конечно, что. А, у него базовая 2 плюс 1 бережливость.